What is up, A to Z Sports? Sam Phelan coming at you live for Titans at 2. I am here at Dillard in Green Hills. You see the backdrop behind me. I am live from Dillard. They are powering today's edition of Titans at 2. Dillard Pizza and Rotisserie, where you are sure to find flavor. I'm coming at you live today to recap a press conference that just got done with Titans head coach Mike Vrabel. Just momentarily from St. Thomas Sports Park, and recap really an embarrassing and demoralizing loss for the Tennessee Titans in Cleveland, for a team that felt like they were starting to gain a lot of momentum from the Chargers win in overtime, 27 points, and a big offensive performance against the Chargers. The Titans felt like they were starting to get on a roll, and we were going to see more and more progress of what this team and what this offense could be. That was not what happened at all in Cleveland. Just 3 points for the Titans that came on a negative 9-yard scoring drive. Absolutely nothing going. And as you see in the title of the show and on the graphic below, it is Andre Dillard that was a big problem in my eyes for the Titans. The pass protection, a big problem for the Titans as well. Ryan Tannehill never really had a shot in this game. 5 sacks, 3 of them allowed by Dillard. So we have a lot to talk about, a lot to break down. I'm going to give you all my thoughts and reactions to the game that we saw yesterday, and then play some clips from the press conference that just happened with Mike Vrabel, and you'll hear from the head coach about what the Titans are going to do with their left tackle moving forward and how are they going to solve all of the biggest problems. Before we dive into everything today, I want to talk about our partners at Dillard. That's where I am. Dillard brings you crave-worthy menu with unexpected yet perfect duo of pizza and rotisserie. They have offbeat flavor combos made even more delicious when you dunk your food into any of the house-made sauces right here at Dillard. Dillard always delivers on flavor and satisfaction. They're a neighborhood spot here in Green Hills where you can get comfortable and savor a fun family dinner any night of the week. Grab a slice and sip on a cocktail at happy hour, catch a game at the bar, or sneak away for a date night. This ambiance, as you can probably tell, it's a great spot for all occasions. So get out to Dillard if you haven't been here already. Dillard and Green Hills, where you're sure to find flavor. Let's get into this game. Let's get into the biggest problems for the Tennessee Titans, and it all starts with Andre Dillard for me, the Titans left tackle, who was a problem and a big gamble that the Titans made in the offseason that I feel like has already started to blow up in their face a little bit. Dillard allowed 7 pressures and 3 sacks yesterday in Cleveland. That was the second most pressures of all offensive tackles across the NFL. On the season, he is 3rd in the NFL in pressures allowed, and he's allowed 6 total sacks. The left side of the line for the Titans has been weak all year. And when you are not able to protect your quarterback, which the Titans did not do on Sunday, you don't give Ryan Tannehill much of a shot. And frankly, nothing else really matters. We spent a lot of time in the offseason talking about, the wide receiving core. And did they have enough weapons for Ryan Tannehill? And, how is this defense going to come together? And we talked about the offensive coordinator and Tim Kelly and how that might be an upgrade over Todd Downing. And what we have started to see here very clearly, if you give up sacks, it doesn't matter. If you can't protect the passer, it doesn't matter. Ryan Tannehill and the Titans offense was non-existent, and got to give credit to a very fast, very physical Browns defense for stifling them. But yeah, Gene says he's surprised it wasn't higher. I frankly am too. And this is considering the 7 pressures, 3 sacks. That's with a lot of chip help. The Titans did get away from chip help at one point, but a lot of chip help for Andre Dillard. I saw some people on Twitter wanting to know, why did the Titans ever get away from chipping? They had that one drive that they drove all the way down the field. Ryan Tannehill, it was right at the end of the half. Big connection to DeAndre Hopkins. Deep shot connecting to Chris Moore. The Titans were down 13-3 with a chance to get some points and get it to a 1-score game, getting the ball back to start the second half. They go away from chip help and they come up empty from in the red zone because Andre Dillard allows a sack. Ryan Tannehill just gets smothered by Myles Garrett. And the Titans come away with no points. Didn't have time to get another snap off. So why did the Titans go away from chip help? Here's what Mike Vrabel had to say for himself during the press conference that got done, about an hour ago at St. Thomas Sports Park.
Red zone, you kind of got away from it. Did you just have a play where it was supposed to get the ball out quickly?
Well, you just get, like talked about last night, some of those red zone concepts, they're trying to get guys out to spread the field, and didn't work out for us on that particular play. We'll have to have an answer, for that. Something that we know that the ball's got to go in the end zone or it's got to go out of bounds. Those are critical. That's the end of the half of being able to get 3 points and hopefully come back in the second half, get regrouped, go in there with a little bit of just energy and confidence that you went down there and scored. And so that didn't turn out that way.
So you hear the Titans head coach there, and I think he makes a good point. And I understand there's some criticism from the fan base being like, well, you left Andre Dillard on an island for part of that game, and you can't always do that when he's getting his lunch money taken by Myles Garrett for 4 quarters of football. But at some point in a drive, especially in the red zone, things get far more condensed, cramped. You have to have more players out there in your route tree to, have some outlets available. The Titans were trying to get a touchdown there. And so, like Mike Vrabel says, you can't have a running back, a quarterback, 7 guys down on the line of scrimmage dedicated to pass protection. That gives you no weapons. So you eventually have to send guys out on routes and hope that your pass protection can hold up. It didn't. And Brandon makes a great point. Trayvon Westco, the guy who is your tight end, meant for inline blocking, meant to give you some of that chip help and support on the weak side of the offensive line. He hasn't been very good either. So the quality of chips haven't been great. And when that takes up somebody on your personnel, that's a little bit more difficult in the red zone. You have less guys to execute with. So that was Mike Vrabel's rationale for why he got away from the chip help there. And I think this really is the video that is the most damning of Trayvon Westco. After the game, asked about all the struggles he had. By the way, tried to get out of the locker room early so he didn't have to speak to media. He's done that multiple times so far on days and practices that he's had a bad day. He tries to get out of there early. Trayvon Westco then talks to the media and says Myles Garrett gave him some pointers and some constructive criticism on his game after allowing 3.5 sacks to Myles Garrett on the day.
Yeah, it's never an easy thing. You got a lot of good players around the league, and this team has had some really good guys on there. But 3rd and long, they're going to be coming and bringing in pressures, and we just got to do better as a unit. I got to do better as an individual, and to sit down those pressures and those defenders.
Obviously, Myles Garrett, one of the better players in the league. What was happening there as far as your matchups with him?
I think I just need to do better with my hands and my sets and all that stuff. I talked to him after the game, and he told me his inputs. Because I'm just trying to get better, and so he kind of told me what he saw, what he liked about my game, and what I could have done differently. So.
Do you appreciate that kind of constructive criticism?
I definitely do. Yeah, especially from a player as good as him. And it's cool to see it from his perspective.
For you, after a performance like that, how do you process it? How you work through it, and then spin it forward to the next game?
When you go through stuff like that, all you can do is just keep playing the next play and don't let your head hang, because then you'll just spiral and it'll get out of control. But what you do from that is you just learn from it. You watch the film, you study it, take the constructive criticism, and you just move forward, and that's all you can do.
94.
So that is Tennessee Titans left tackle Andre Dillard. That's just it's a sad interview. It's a sad clip. It's a sad quote. You get beat by Myles Garrett all night. And I kind of said Myles Garrett was like the Titans' own white hat hacker, a guy that they didn't pay him. They didn't hire him. But, you could have convinced me that they did with the coaching tips he was giving to Andre Dillard after the game. Myles Garrett absolutely penetrates the Titans firewall, dominates them for 60 minutes, and then it's like, oh, here are all the security deficiencies I found on your offensive line. Andre Dillard, here's all the ways you can get better, and Dillard just takes it and very appreciative of the constructive criticism. This is a gamble the Titans made, and Gene wants to know, why can't the Titans gamble on Luan? I don't think Luan's in football shape right now to be a left tackle, but this was a gamble the Titans made when they went thrift shopping for a left tackle this offseason. They went and they paid Andre Dillard. They gave him $29 million over 3 years with $13 million in guarantees to come and be their left tackle, thinking they could get a bargain if he developed into a regular, good, full-time starter. He has not been that guy. And so now you have to start asking yourself, where are the reinforcements coming from? Where are the replacements coming from? Because you drafted Peter Skoronski 11th overall for a reason and have played him at guard all offseason, all preseason. In week 1, Skoronski was at guard. Meanwhile, you've got deficiencies at left tackle. There has to be some sort of reshuffling the deck that you can do. I'll give you my thoughts on that and tell you what Mike Vrabel said when asked about, if changes could be made on the offensive line. But before I do so, going to tell you about where I'm at right now, where I'm coming to you live from. And it is Dillard in Green Hills, Dillard Pizza and Rotisserie. You can grab a seat at the bar and stay a while sipping on inventive craft cocktails made with daily fresh juices and homemade ingredients alongside local beers and a menu of wines to pair with every delicious bite. I just saw it out there on the sign as well. Dillard has happy hour Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. So it's a happy 3 hours here at Dillard, starting with deals at $5, half-priced bottles of wine all day on Tuesdays, and a great new bottle and bird special that features a bottle of wine and a whole rotisserie chicken and 2 sides for $40 when you dine in. Happy hour, Dillard's the place to go for that. So come out to Green Hills starting here in 45 minutes. Happy hour starts at Dillard. Cannot thank our partners at Dillard enough. Love the ambiance, love the vibe, love the menu. Come check Dillard out. Where are the reinforcements going to come from for the Titans? Skoronski, drafted 11 overall, has been your left guard. Billy Jones wants Skoronski at left tackle. You have Dylan Radins, who's been your fill-in for Peter Skoronski at left guard, who has some tackle experience and also did that in college. 2 guys potentially that you could move over there. And then when Nicholas Petit-Frere comes back from his suspension after week 6, Chris Hubbard, another name, another veteran who has fit in pretty well and I think held his own over on the right side that you could then move as well. That obviously couldn't happen for a few more weeks. Mike Vrabel was asked if changes could be made to the Titans offensive line. He said the following: "We'll continue to look and see what's best and where guys go. But as it stands here right now today, I don't see something changing until we have some more time to visit on it tomorrow and see who's available, see who's healthy, and try and find a way to beat the Bengals." Now, that is a good answer from Mike Vrabel if you're a Titans fan, I think. That is not Mike Vrabel shutting down the idea of moving on from Andre Dillard. It's not Mike Vrabel shutting down the idea that changes need to be made soon. But the biggest question that's still looming is, can Peter Skoronski play? Because if Peter Skoronski is back and healthy against the Cincinnati Bengals, I don't think he will be, but he could be. Now that opens up options for what you can do in terms of moving him to left tackle or putting him at guard and sliding Dylan Radins over. I have to look as well, when you talk about this issue, at the Titans draft class. And I know that's kind of a weird thing to bring up, given the fact that it was the Titans free agent signings so far that have let them down most. But I want to take a look at this stat. These are the offensive snaps played by the Titans 2023 rookie class. Peter Skoronski at 63 for week 1, 0 from Will Levis, who has been inactive and been your third string quarterback. Tajay Spears, 85 snaps, somewhat involved. They try to get him the ball. There hasn't been a ton of opportunities for him. And then Josh Wiley, 20, nothing from Jalen Duncan, nothing from Colton Dowell. And I think this is relevant because Rand Carthon and Mike Vrabel took a big risk this offseason in their overall philosophy of trying to build for the future while also competing in 2023. It was a strategy that they made where they didn't trade Derrick Henry. They didn't trade Kevin Byard. They didn't trade Ryan Tannehill. They said this team can still win and we want to win, but we're also trying to get future assets. You traded up for 33 overall to get a quarterback who's your third string and inactive right now. And I think Will Levis, like obviously that pick is not one that you can grade right now. That will take years of Will Levis's development to understand, did you get a franchise quarterback out of that selection? But I have to look at these picks and the fact that really 1-2 of them have had an impact on offense. You went all offense in this draft and you took things in a second or really your third tight end. You took your third quarterback. You took your third or fourth offensive tackle late in the draft and didn't fill any of your immediate needs. And Peter Skoronski, the guy that you drafted 11 overall, is now a guard. I think the Titans came into the draft not expecting Peter Skoronski to be there. Keep in mind, they had already paid Andre Dillard by the time the draft came around. Skoronski falls to 11. You feel good about him as a prospect. You pull the trigger on that. I'm cool with that. But the Titans, being the Titans, trying to have their cake and eat it too, already paid Andre Dillard $13 million in guarantees and are trying to then say, all right, well, now we have to play Skoronski. He was 11 overall, and he's good. Like, Peter Skoronski's been good. But we also have to play Andre Dillard because we're paying Andre Dillard. And you've wound up in a scenario now where your best left tackle option is playing guard. Your left tackle, is a liability and a detriment to your offense. I think they need to reshuffle the deck. So hopefully Peter Skoronski's healthy this year. Mike Vrabel did not go away from Dennis Daly last season at all. We saw how that kind of killed the Titans season as things unfolded, and they had no pass protection up front because not only did it kill their ability to win a game, it also got Ryan Tannehill hurt. So you have to protect your quarterback. I need a change to be made. That's all I really have to say about the offense. I want to move over to the defense, which was far from the Titans' biggest issue. They did okay for the most part. X-play is still a problem. And one guy who I have totally lost all patience in, I'll tell you guys about that, but want to remind you about Dillard. That's where I'm sitting right now at Dillard in Green Hills. They have obviously some great dining experiences, as you can see behind me. But if takeout is more your style, grab the family on the fly takeout bundle from Dillard to feed your entire family. They're the go-to spot in the go-to neighborhood. Dillard is where you're sure to find flavor. And, even the Titans players have been known to come in here time and time again because it's that good. It's got that unique of a menu and just a really, really cool, very Nashville vibe. So if you haven't been to Dillard, check them out. Dillard Pizza and Rotisserie, located right next to the Shake Shack in Green Hills. Convenient parking, too. I got, the best spot in the entire spot here. But Dillard. All right. Yep. Chat's already on it. You guys know who I'm talking about. I see Miro came in with the chat here. Christian Fulton, somebody who I am growing tired of and running out of patience for very, very quickly. Here is your fun stat, and really not so fun of a stat about Christian Fulton. Passer rating against when targeted in 2023, 158.3. Quarterbacks are 7 for 8 for 165 yards and a touchdown throwing against Fulton, according to Pro Football Focus. That's 8 pass attempts and over 160 yards per completion. I want to say that's 26 yards per completion against Christian Fulton. And that's just in the completions. We also saw they were in a 2nd and 25. Cleveland was yesterday. Christian Fulton gets beat deep by Amari Cooper, drops back, tries to close in, gets called for a pass interference. It's the deep penalties just as much as it is getting beat deep and giving up big plays. Mike Vrabel called the deep touchdown to Amari Cooper a misexecution by Fulton, said Christian was supposed to cover that guy. For a guy that was playing for a lot this season, going into a contract year, there was a lot of talk about injuries and can he stay on the field. We've already seen a soft tissue injury with the hamstring, him come back into a game in New Orleans, get beat over the top, which lost them that football game. He got beat by, Rashid Shaheed deep, and it ended up setting up the Saints in a position where they could kneel the ball out. The Titans didn't get the ball back. He misses the second game of the season against the Chargers, then comes out and has just an absolutely horrible performance in Cleveland. So 168 yards passing against Christian Fulton already. My patience with him is up. Like, I don't know how much shorter this leash can get before you have to start looking at your options there too. And I think that's the most concerning part about this Titans team is the way that they've lost games is pass protection up front, bad. Secondary, bad. And what are your options behind the guys that you currently have starting? I don't know if they're any better. I don't know what the answer is. And as Amani Hooker pointed out, penalties on the secondary continue to be a problem, and it killed them all day Sunday.
Personal or interactive, just kind of what it's the feel.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because, it's kind of like a fine line. You want to be aggressive, especially with the receiver who is aggressive, but then you can't be, too aggressive. And, it's just a fine line. You got to figure out how the refs are calling the game. And those are X plays to me because they start, second and 25, and you give up a PI for 30-plus yards. So that's excellent.
The Bengals.
So you have to adjust to the way that the game is being called. I think that was really well put by Amani Hooker, who is not the problem, by the way. It's kind of weird, like how Amani Hooker and Kevin Byard can, I think, be such a really good safety tandem and have so many struggles in the secondary because of how bad the cornerback play has been. And Sean Murphy-Bunting, just as guilty as Christian Fulton is of some of these late penalties that are timed at the absolute worst times, absolutely kill your defense, tire your defense out. Even the front four, I will say the front four didn't play very well against Cleveland. You had a couple opportunities to get after Deshaun Watson. You didn't wrap up. You didn't bring him down. You let him extend plays and extend drives. That, I think, will correct itself. I think that group is solid. But what do you do behind Christian Fulton? I see chat saying maybe Trey Avery. Like, I don't know. I don't know if he's much better. It's ugly. So, yeah, I mean, you have to find some answers. And, yeah, Azeez Al-Shire, I think he had some penalties as well. No, Mr. Jones saying move Big Jeff to the offensive line. Okay, no, you're just being you're being a little ridiculous. Okay. You have to find answers defensively in the secondary. You can only say you can't give up X plays for so long before you just have to do it. And I think that's where Titans fans are at with this team. It's where I'm at with this team. It's where Titans players are at with themselves of like this coach better, play better mentality, this coach better, play better message. Mike Vrabel has hammered home with his guys nonstop, really since that losing streak started in 2022. It gets a little old after a while. You have to win games. And like I talk to Shane Bowen all the time. I talk to Chris Harris, secondary coach, all the time about X plays. He says, yeah, can't let the ball get thrown over your head. And he says the right things. And yet you've got guys like Christian Fulton failing to execute on game day. If guys keep failing to execute, you have to make a change. The definition of insanity is doing the exact same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And so far, Mike Vrabel last season did that. He put Dennis Daly back there week after week after week, expecting some sort of different result, and his quarterbacks were getting killed. And right now, they keep playing Sean Murphy-Bunting, Christian Fulton without making changes week after week after week. They're going to get beat over the top, and nothing's going to change. Hopefully, this isn't what the Titans are in 2023, and this is just a little blip on the radar. But right now, I have some serious concerns about the direction of the team and how fixable these glaring issues actually are. So that's all I've got for you guys today with Titans at 2. Don't forget, please join me every single Titans at 2. We're Mondays and Thursdays at 2 o'clock or around 2 o'clock. Thursday, I will be previewing the upcoming game with the Cincinnati Bengals, give you guys some good footage of inside the Titans locker room and what players are saying about the Titans, the vibes in the locker room, the game ahead, what I think the Titans need to do to get back to 2-2 and right this ship against Cincinnati. That's coming up Thursday. Tune into the A to Z Sports Morning Show tomorrow with Austin and Zach, and A to Z Primetime tonight with Buck Rising. Want to give a quick shout out one more time to my partners at Doughbird. This is where I'm at, Doughbird Pizza and Rotisserie. Whoa. All right. I think I lost you guys for a minute there, but I'm back. If you like the look behind you here at Dobert Pizza and Rotisserie, make sure you come check them out in Green Hills. Dobert is where you're sure to find flavor with happy hour 3 to 6. It's starting up 34 minutes now here. So get to Dobert today. Come check them out. That's all I got for you guys today. Thanks for tuning in to Titans at 2. We'll see you.